What's going on, everybody? Let's talk about lessons learned. You're going to get the realest of the real out of me today. Smoking and all. Drinking my coffee. I'm looking around this beautiful state I'm living in now. I'm living in Florida. Been here since August of last year. Company, one of the companies a contract for actually moved me down here, paid for the whole move. It's pretty. It's a blessing, isn't it? You know? It's a blessing. But I never really moved down here. And physically, I did. Physically, I moved down here. But emotionally, I never did. And now I have. Spoke with my mom, my stepmother, before I came down here again. And she says, Stephen, there's a difference between stubborn and pig-headed. You, my son, are stubborn. I have seen you deal with someone, hold out hope for someone for so long, and then eventually just say, no more. Pig-headed is what you've been dealing with. Last year or so, I was so in love with the idea of being in love that, God, I went 10 steps beyond what I normally do. A lot of that came from the inspiration that I learned. A lot of that came from the lessons and the things I'd learned in the last few years. I've not given up hope on people, most especially myself. You see, I tend to see bright light in somebody where none exists. And that's because I went through some stuff in my life that I didn't think I'd ever come back from, and I eventually did. I love a good redemption arc. It's one of the reasons why I love Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker. I love a good redemption arc. And there was somebody there that held out hope in him, Luke. No matter what, no matter how evil he had been, no matter what he had done, no matter what, he believed in his dad. There was somebody there to believe in that dark person. And so I tend to believe in people that others give up on, because I have to believe in that good in them. Sometimes that blazing point of light, that tiny little bit of good you see in somebody just doesn't exist. Sometimes it's an illusion that they create, or that you create, or I create. So, while I was believing in somebody, desperately believing in somebody, it put me in a state of hyper stress, hypertension, hyper aggression, hyper every damn thing. And I thought if I believed and pushed hard enough, proved myself over and over, that it would make a difference. Eventually it would make a difference. Lead by example. Something we talk an awful lot about around here. And instead, Instead, I had to have people walk away from me all over. Family and friends. Because I believed so much. Needed to believe so much. Thought that the person I believed in was worth it. Needed someone there. Needed that example. Turns out I just burnt myself out. Came right around full circle, hit a reset button in myself. Brought me back to an earlier version of me with a little more experience. I mean, yeah, I'm in a ton of pain. World of pain. Did it to myself. What hurts me the most, really, is what I put my friends and family through. Believing so much in somebody else. Now, we can't stop believing that there's good out there and that there's good in other people. Can't do that. There's not enough of that. There's not enough faith in others out there. We just gotta learn to make better choices and know when to walk away. Know the difference between being stubborn and pig-headed. And this other person is confusing to me at this point. It's a living victimhood narrative. That the same narrative we've been fighting for years, right? The same thing we've been fighting in the Menace and every other part of this culture war. You know, these far leftists who've been fighting and living in victimhood and blaming other people for their problems and creating any excuse not to take responsibility. That's not what we do. We take responsibility for our actions when we can see them. Sometimes we're blind, sometimes we got blind spots. I had a big old blind spot. I'm gonna spend this week moving here again, all over again, you know, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And I'm gonna rise up, accept responsibility for my actions, try and understand why, and turn my back on that does not help me grow, or anyone that does not want to grow with me, be with me, accept what I have to offer, who I am. You can be as genuine as you want. You can try as hard as you can. Some people just do not change. Maybe they never wanted to. They're lying to themselves, or everything they've ever said is a lie. But when you're on a path to better yourself, be a better person, you can't hold on to hate. Don't hold on to hate. We all make mistakes. We all have to be able to forgive ourselves. But only if we really understand what our actions can do to others. And the potential of who we can be when we're being good people. So I have to say goodbye. I gotta say goodbye to that part of my life. I have to accept that there's nothing that I can do. And I have to do it with no malice. Because that doesn't help anybody or anything. Forever strive, my friends, to be the best version of yourself. Never stop believing in the good in people or in yourself. At this point moving forward, I'm shooting for the moon. At this point forward, I'm gonna rise and rise as far as I can go. And I'm gonna do it with the best intentions I can summon. Because I do not kneel. You know, occasionally I do stumble. So will you in life, so will everyone. Give compassion where it's deserved. Love those who love you. Always try to lead by example. And if you're like me, know the difference between being stubborn and pig-headed. My love to you and yours, my friends. Remember to support your favorite YouTubers out there, no matter how big or small. Support your independent creators. Never stop attempting, never stop striving to attain your goals and better yourself. Because we can all do it. Peace out, y'all.